Hello everybody. Today we are going to speak about a very important and an interesting topic which is known as customer happiness and delight. Well, the reason why I say it's a very important topic is because anybody who's listening to this video, whenever you're working as an individual or a company in any organization, what you're really working for is your customers. They are the reason why you're working, they are the reason why you are at your job. So it's very important to understand a lot in detail about who these customers are and what they really do. So today we are going to have an effective guidelines to understanding your customers better, understanding what really wows a customer, understanding customer delight, customer satisfaction, and last but not the least, how to keep your customers really happy. The agenda or the overview or the objectives of the session today is understanding who is a customer, what a customer really wants, needs, expects out of you, understanding the different types and the categories of the customers. No two people in this world are the same, aren't they? So the reason why we need to understand is different customer types and different categories of customers. We also need to understand the reason why a customer leaves. There's so much of competition in today's market, and we need to understand how to make our customers stay so that they don't go anywhere else. We need to understand the difference between good service, bad service, and an excellent customer service. So we will talk about that as well. Now, the moment of truth or the moment of magic is really the most important part of our module today, because this is a concept which will help you understand your customers in a much better fashion. The mantras of how to wow your customer service. Wowing a customer is the need of the hour. Everybody is giving them every kind of service, but how do you really wow your customer? Well, there are mantras which will really help you how to wow your customer. Understanding the needs and requirements of the customer, and last but not the least, we will also share some facts and burst some myths about customer service. So are we ready to really learn a lot about this module? Because I'm very excited to teach you as well. Let's get started. Before we even go deep into this module of customer service, let us first understand who is a customer. Now, if I have to give you a definition, a dictionary definition of a customer, let's understand what the dictionary says. A customer is one who uses a product or service, the one who purchases a product or service, or somebody who has the influence over a customer or a product or a service. Now, this is how the definition defines a customer. Basically, what we are really trying to say is customer is nothing but a guest at your home, customer is a god, customer is a king. He is always right, no matter what. And we have to realize that customer is the lifeline of any business. Customer is to be seen as not an interruption of your work, but the reason why you are working or the reason of your job is your customer. If today there are no customers, there is no business, there is no work. So they are the end users of whatever we are doing. Hence, it's important to understand how to make them happy. There are two types of customers, internal customers and external customers. Now, internal customers are really customers who are within your organization, your team members, your colleagues, your bosses, your managers, even the peon working in your company or your organization. And external customers, well, I need not say it, an external customer is the end user who is buying the product or the service which your company is manufacturing. That's about different types of customers. Now, it's very important to really understand the reason why a customer leaves an organization or leaves you as a product or a service. Today, we are living in a kind of an environment or a world wherein there is so much of competition. Everybody is making a better product or service than the previous one. And it's very difficult to attract customers or make them loyal to you. So let us understand what are the reasons why a customer actually leaves you. According to a research, 13% of the customers are not satisfied with the product. Now, when I say not satisfied with the product, they find a product not really up to their mark and they prefer another product over your own. So they're not satisfied, and that's why they leave. That's 13% of your customers. Well, the 9% of your customers feel that there are better prices available somewhere else. They feel that there are competitive and more compelling prices elsewhere, and that's where 9% of your customers leave. The others, that is 9% of your customers, might leave because of some reasons beyond your control. Probably they are shifting base to another city or another country, and that's the reason why they leave. Or there might be some personal reasons also why they leave. So that's another 9%. Now if you see here, research says that maximum, or rather 69% of your people actually leave. Why? Because of one and only one reason, and that is poor customer service. Now this is such an important reason why your customer leave, and hence it's important to make you understand that poor customer service has to be really ingrained in you in such a manner that you completely cut off poor customer service and learn how to give a wow customer service. Well, there are different categories of customers. As you would definitely agree, no two customers are the same, or rather I would say no two people in this entire world are the same. They differ because of different nationalities, views, opinions, pay pockets, etc. So hence we have to understand that we need to understand our different types of customers and the different ways in which we can deal with these particular customers. Let's understand those. As you can see over here, there are lots of different faces, right? So let's understand there are different kinds of customers. A friendly customer, a high profile customer, a very knowledgeable customer could be. Well, there are some customers who come to really you because they need the particular product or service. And there are certain customers who are very impulsive by nature. Well, there are others who are very perfectionist. They want everything to be really perfect. These are different type of customers. How can I also forget? There is an angry customer or a very volatile customer. These are customers you need to be really aware of because they can really make or break your product and service. Well, these are the different kinds of customers, and we need to deal with them in a very different fashion or a manner. We will next talk about a very important terminology which is known as customer service. Well, in customer service, we are going to talk about good, average, and bad customer service. Now, customer service is not a department, it is an attitude. Every individual working in an organization or a company needs to have an attitude of good customer service. Now, customer service is not something huge that you need to do for your customers. Customers are even happy with the smaller things in life. So customer service is something that we need to imbibe by, and it's a rule we need to follow wherever we are working. This is the most important concept, which is known as moment of magic, or rather moment of truth is also which is what is called. Now, moment of magic was a term coined by Mr. Carl Jansen, and he came up with this terminology in this year 1980. When he joined as a CEO of an airline which is Scandinavian Airline, he entered the airline and he came to know that the airline is making a million losses of $30 million. Now when he joined, within 2.5 years, he was able to make it into a profit-making organization. Surprised and shocked to hear that? Well, he actually did it with only focus on one thing, and that was delighting customers. Well, after which this particular term as moment of magic or moment of truth was coined by different organizations worldwide, and they are using this to achieve excellence in customer service. So what exactly is this moment of magic? Moment of magic is every interaction that the customer has with you as an organization, whether on the phone or an email or even over the counter. What we have to understand is moment of magic is based on two very important components. Excellence, that is what the customers expects out of you, vis-a-vis the reality of the service. So what the customer really expects out of you and the reality of the service that he gets is known as moment of magic. Well, good customer service is average moment of truth. Now, let's understand, if a customer expects something and he got it, there is no rocket science in it. He expected it and he got it. So it's average. Now, if you want to be extraordinary, you cannot be an average person, can you? So a good customer service is what he expected and what he got, right? A bad customer service is a moment of misery. The customer expected something huge and what he actually got, not so good. So this resulted in him being miserable and sad which is bad customer service. Now we have to be very careful not to get into the zone of bad customer service, because ultimately the customer will not be happy with us and will leave us to join somewhere else. This is known as a wow customer service, which is the moment of magic. Customer expected something very small, and what he actually got, the reality of the service, is huge. Meaning, customer expected something small, he got something big, which puts a smile on his face, and because of which he has been wowed. So, a good or an excellent customer service is not only an average or a good or an excellent customer service, it is outstanding customer service, and that is why it is known as a moment of magic. In a true sense, you have created that moment for the customer, you have put a smile on his face, and you have wowed him for life, which will help you in getting him back again and again, and him being loyal to you forever. Well, now we are going to talk about the 6 golden mantras of customer delight. Customer delight is something that we have been talking about, how to wow your customer, how to delight your customers, and how do we do it really? We do it with the help of these mantras. Let's understand, or rather let's first go through what these mantras are, and then we will talk about them in a lot of detail. The 6 golden mantras of customer delight is product and process knowledge, responsiveness and reliability, ownership, professionalism, empathy, and rapport building. If you do all of these things, what we are really trying to tell you is that you will go on your way to your delighting customers, and that is what we want to achieve by the end of this module today, don't we? Let's talk about the first mantra, product and process knowledge. Now, if your customer comes to you with a query, it will not help if you just smile at the customer or greet him, will it? You need to help him solve his query, and that's the reason product and process knowledge is very important. You need to know your product and service. You need to update your knowledge very, very frequently. You cannot be really downlated in your knowledge. You need to update your knowledge. You need to make sure you're ahead of your competition, and because of which you need to probably research more, do a lot of studies, speak to your managers, speak to your seniors, and update your knowledge. You need to help your customers, help them solve their queries, their grievances, and when you do that, you have really helped them and made them stay with you. The second most important mantra is being responsive and being reliable. Now, question which I would really want to ask you is, ask yourself this question: are you responsive? Are you a reliable person? Well, if you are not, it is not a good sign of a customer service person. So, you need to revert at a promised time. You need to make sure that if you've promised something to a customer, make sure you get back to them at that time. Being punctual is very, very important, and also being proactive is very important. Before a customer asks you for something, you should have it delivered to him, and that is being proactive. Understand the need of your customer before even they have to tell you that. Sticking to the small commitment also makes you a responsive and a reliable person. As I mentioned earlier, customers don't want the bigger commitments. They want small commitments to be taken care of. And once you do the smaller things, the bigger picture always falls into place. Not bluffing and always giving correct information to your customers. Please do not bluff. Something that people don't really appreciate. If something has to be given to the customer, always make sure you're giving them a correct information. Well, the next important mantra which we will talk about is ownership. Now, what is ownership? Ownership means taking responsibility for your actions, not passing the blame on to somebody, always accepting your own mistakes rather than always blaming things on somebody else. So when we talk about ownership, we need to understand that we need to get to the root of the customer problem. Always try and understand the cause of the problem and cut that out at the very cause. Taking responsibility and not passing the blame. It's very easy to pass blame on to another colleague or another team member, but taking ownership means accepting your responsibility, accepting your blame. Well, think of every customer as your customer. Anybody entering your organization is your customer. Don't think of it as being somebody else. Be with the customer from the start to the end. Never ever leave people midway. It's wrong to do that. If you've taken the ownership and the responsibility of a customer, make sure that you be with them from the beginning till the end, always. The next important mantra is professionalism. Don't we all love to be professional? So planning and organizing oneself makes us a professional. Let's not litter around. Let's plan ourselves properly. Let's organize ourselves properly. Punctuality is very important also. So if you promise somebody on a particular time, be with that person at that particular time, or rather before time. Always be punctual. Customers don't like to be waited for. No casual talk, please. Make sure that you're always talking in a very polite language and a very, very professional language. Anything which is casual looks unprofessional. No bad-mouthing other companies and other people. It's important to understand that if you are bad-mouthing somebody, somebody else might be doing the same for you. So, never bad-mouth other people and other companies. Always be ethical. It's very important. Our next important mantra is empathizing. Now, what do we mean by the word empathizing? It means when you have to think from the other person's point of view. So, always think from the customer's point of view. What are their likes, their dislikes, etc. Putting yourself into your customer's shoes is very important to empathize with the customer, and that is the crux of good customer service. Recognize their priorities. Customers have priorities, and it's very important for you to delve into the same as your customers. Feeling their fear, feeling their apprehensions. Let's understand that we also as customers have our fears and apprehensions, don't we? So our customers are very right in having these fears. Let's take care of their fears and apprehensions. Choosing the right tone and words while communicating with the customer. Our words, our tone is very important. We share a lot with our customers over the phone or through an email. It's important to use the right, correct words and the right tone. Our next important mantra is rapport building. Well, customers do not like it if you immediately start talking about work or business or the product that you're selling or the service that you might be selling. It's important to understand that you need to have a good conversation with them, get to understand them a little better, do a few small talks with them so that they trust you. And that's an important factor, trust. Start the interaction always on a positive note. Nobody likes hearing anything negative. The word negative is something that you want to run away from. So always start something or any interaction with a customer on a positive note. People like positive people. Try to have a small talk. Talk to them about their family, what they like, what they don't like. Something small which will help to build the rapport with them and also break the ice with your customer. Courtesy and gestures. I really cannot say how important manners and courtesy is in today's time and age. So always be very, very polite, very courteous with your customers. They really like that. Going the extra mile for your customers. Always try and do something which is beyond the call of your duty. Always try to do something for your customer which they never expected, which really brings a smile on their face. Going out of your way for your customers ultimately will help you get customers for a lifetime. And isn't that what we all really want? Well, these were the 6 mantras of understanding your customers, and now today we are getting into our next topic which will help us understand the customer needs. Let's understand the customer's needs. There are 4 ways in which you can help to understand the customer's needs a little better. Listening attentively, asking the questions, clarifying the doubts, and reconfirming the understanding. Well, if you do all these 4 things, it will help you to understand your customer's needs a little better. What do we mean by listening attentively? Is there a difference between hearing and listening? Well, there is. Hearing is a very mechanical process. You hear from one ear and you remove it from the other. Well, when you're listening, you are heart and soul with that person. You are really trying to understand the depth of the words of the person, and that is listening attentively to your customers. Asking questions. It's very important to probe a customer because a lot of time a customer doesn't really know what he needs or what he expects. Probing them by asking them open-ended questions or closed-ended questions will help you understand the need of the customer. get your customers to talk to you. Clarifying doubts. Now, it's very important that when you're talking to your customers, there might be certain doubts coming in your mind. It's important to clarify the doubts. Do not feel that you look like a fool if you ask a question to a customer. If you do not ask the question, you end up being a bigger fool. So, always clarify your doubts as and when they come up in your head. And the last but not the least, reconfirm understanding. After you have spoken to the customer, please understand customer needs to know that you and the customer are on the same page, and that will help you to build your customer's trust. So understanding the need of your customer by the help of these 4 points. Well, there are certain interesting facts about our customers, and these are certain things which have been taken up by a lot of research which has been done on this particular topic. Let's understand some facts about our customers which will help us build our customers' relationship. It is 6 to 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a current one. Well, we know it is expensive to do a new customer service. So rather, better we build on our work with our customers who are existing with us. Let us go all out and impress them and wow them and delight them so that they never leave, because if they leave, it's expensive to get a new customer for us. For every customer who bothers to complain, 26% of customers actually remain silent. So if they are silent, means they are suffering, and they might have not complained yet, but they might do it in the near future. So let's avoid that. News of bad customer service reaches more than twice as many ears as praise for a good customer service. The reason why we are saying this is bad news always travels faster than good news. So if you have done something bad for your customer, make sure that you rectify it immediately, else news travels very fast. It takes 12 positive experiences to make up for one unresolved negative experience. You need to actually do 12 good things for your customer or positive things to take care of that one negative thing that you might have done by mistake with them. 55% of consumers would pay more for a better customer experience, and I'm sure this is something that we all have understood by now. It is important to go all out for your customers and really wow them. Well, to conclude this entire module on customer happiness and delight, I would like to leave you with some nice interesting words for customer service, which is conviction, trust, satisfaction, loyalty, goodwill, commitment, delight, and experience. These terminologies are not just simple words. They mean a lot, they carry a lot of weightage, and today in our module we have understood how to delight your customers, how to be loyal to them and make them in turn be loyal to you. We've discussed so much on customer service. I really do hope that you have enjoyed listening to us and enjoyed watching us. Well, if you have really liked us, do share your comments and feedbacks. It was lovely teaching you all this module. Thank you very much for listening to us.